everyone, and welcome to my channel. If this is the first time you've ever watched me, then hi, my name is Kaylee Anderson. I am 19 years old. I've been married for almost a year come December. I am a military wife, so my husband is in the Marine Corps. He's been in the Marine Corps coming up on 2 years on September 11th. So I am filming my 4 to 8 week pregnancy update. I will be 9 weeks come this Tuesday, and I'm filming this on Sunday, so not totally 9 weeks yet, but we're gonna go ahead and film my 4 to 8 week update so I can get it out for you guys to watch. I'm gonna talk about my symptoms from week 4 until now, how my body has changed, and all of that good stuff. So I have everything typed up on my phone right here, on my notes, just so I wouldn't forget. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get right on into the video. I'm gonna go ahead and say now, this video is going to be very in detail about my body and what my body is going through and how I'm changing. So if you don't like stuff like that, then I recommend you not watching this video. I'm assuming that this is all women watching, people who are interested about how pregnancy goes, and it's different for every woman, so my symptoms can be totally different from yours. Or I'm assuming that you're pregnant, and if you are, congratulations. You just want to know, if your pregnancy is similar to mine. Or my family, like I know my mom's probably watching this, and my mother-in-law, because they're all curious. I'm going to be very in detail. I'm not going to hold back, which is probably shocking to some of you who know me, because you know that I'm very modest, if you will. So I'm just going to throw everything out there for you guys. I'm going to be totally honest. I want to have this to be able to look back, maybe future pregnancies, I can see how things were different. Number one, the first thing that I recognized were my boobs were so sore. To me, they were a little swollen. I asked Jacob, my husband, if he thought they were swollen. He was like, no, they look normal to me. But I was like, they just feel so swollen. But I've had sore boobs as a period symptom before, so it didn't really throw me for a loop. But now that I'm thinking back, I'm like, okay, that totally makes sense. Another pregnancy symptom slash period symptom that I was having was cramping. It wasn't like unbearable. I have pretty severe period cramps to the point where I'm pretty much laying on a heating pad all day. They weren't that bad. They were definitely bearable. I could move around, but I was just like, man, I'm cramping. Like, I think I'm gonna start my period tomorrow. Little did I know. After talking to some people, they were like, yeah, that's called implantation, which I didn't know. I thought I knew a lot more than I really do. So now that I'm going through it, I'm like, okay, I'm learning a lot. That was definitely the first 2 symptoms. This is all still week 4. So I found out at like 4 weeks and 3 days, I believe. Come around week 5 and 6, my symptoms didn't change too much in week 5. They stayed about the same, but I will say being out of breath has been very hard, and that's whenever I noticed in week 5, that's when that started. So I was working out with my best friend up here, Leslie. We had been working out for a long time, probably ever since I moved into this house, which was in July, which is when my husband and I first got pregnant. My best friend and I, Leslie, up here, we have been working out a good bit. And so I was getting in shape, but my stomach was staying very bloated. And I was just like, man, I'm eating pretty good. I mean, I have fries every now and then, but like, who doesn't? But for the most part, I love salads. I love fruit. I don't love vegetables that much, but I'll eat them. We didn't really eat out much. I usually cook every night. So I was just like, why am I so bloated? And again, I was like, maybe I'm just about to start my period, because that was a period symptom of mine. The last time that we actually worked out before I found out I was pregnant, I could not run to save my life. Like, I had to keep stopping because I was so out of breath. And I told her, I was like, Leslie, like, I don't know what's up. Like, I feel like I'm just getting out of shape, but I'm working out, so it makes no sense. I'm like, today is just an off day for me. I don't know why I'm so out of breath. I can't run, I can't breathe. My stomach is cramping because I can't breathe so much. It was just really confusing, but now it all makes sense. That's pretty much it for the first week 4 and week 5. Before then, I didn't really have any nausea, nothing else. I did have spotting, the tiniest bit, which I'm assuming is implantation, around the time that I was having cramping, but it was like the tiniest bit. Like, I could barely even see it. Like, if it were somebody else, like, they probably wouldn't even notice, but because I know my body, like, I knew that, okay, I'm guessing that's normal. I've heard it's normal before, so I didn't really worry about it. But come week 6, literally the day that I turned 6 weeks, I wake up and I'm like, oh my gosh, I thought I was doing so good. I thought I wasn't gonna get nauseous. I woke up and I was so nauseous. I walked downstairs and I tried to eat, and I was just like, I don't have an appetite. Smells weren't bothering me at this point, but I was so nauseous, and I actually wasn't even throwing up during week 6. It was bearable. I could, you know, do stuff around the house still. I could take care of Nala like I needed to. I could clean the house like I needed to. But for the most part, I really just wanted to lay on the couch because anytime that I would stand up, I would get kind of dizzy and feel really nauseous. So come week 7, that's when I started throwing up. Week 7 is actually when I flew home to see my sister. I'm pretty sure I hadn't thrown up before week 7. So when I flew home, I was nauseous the entire time. I was throwing up in the morning. If I was hungry, I was throwing up. If I was full, I was throwing up. Like, it was just no fun. Nausea is like, I told myself I would rather just throw up and feel better and not be nauseous, but that's not how it works. Like, you throw up and you still feel nauseous. And it's not morning sickness. Whoever said morning sickness, I feel like a man, no offense to you men out there, I feel like a male created that title morning sickness, because it is not morning sickness, and whoever made that up must be very naive, because it is all day, 24/7. I would wake up in the middle of the night feeling so nauseous, and this is not me complaining, because now I'm like, I feel totally happy. I would totally go through all of that again because I'm loving the pregnancy now. Spoiler alert, it gets better. Just being honest, it's just part of it. You get nauseous. Some people don't. So that's week 7. I was throwing up. Other than that, oh, constipation. Like I told you guys, I'm gonna be very upfront with you guys. Constipation was totally a thing because I was having such trouble going to the bathroom, and my stomach was very bloated because of that, and I was very uncomfortable, and it was no fun. But at least I was throwing up, so at least I was pretty much throwing up everything in my stomach, so I didn't need to go to the bathroom anyway. But you win some and you lose some. So week 8, this was an exciting week for me because week 8 is whenever I get my first appointment. So I turned 8 weeks and my nausea actually subsided a little bit. I wasn't really throwing up as much. I did throw up probably still twice a day, but before I was throwing up like 4 or 5 times a day, so it was better. It was better, and I will take that. I actually turned 8 weeks this past Tuesday. I couldn't get in to see the doctor until I think it was Thursday. So Thursday morning, I wake up. My appointment is first thing in the morning, 8:30. My husband was able to get off work for a little bit to come with me, and then he was gonna have to go back to work. So I get up, I'm dressed on time, I've had breakfast, I feel decent, I'm not gonna throw up, everything's well. I've got my camera ready, everything's good to go. And then I'm like, wait a minute, where's my wallet? My wallet is missing. I searched and searched and searched for my wallet for 30 minutes and I could not find it anywhere. I had to call and reschedule my appointment, and I was crying so much because I was so upset at myself for losing my wallet on my what's supposed to be the happiest and most important day, and it was nowhere to be found. Luckily, my husband and I found it, and I was able to get an appointment the very next day at 1:30. So at 1:30, I had my appointment. I walked in, we waited for a little while, I filled out a bunch of paperwork. First thing we did was an ultrasound. So I thought they were gonna have to do a transvaginal ultrasound, which is typically what they do if you are 8 weeks. That's what I've always heard, at least. That's what I thought, because the baby is still so little. They can't really see it very clearly, but they didn't have to do one that way. They just did it right on top of the belly. She put that stuff on, which I was expecting it to be cold, a little gel, but it was so warm because they had it like a little heater. And so as soon as she put it on my belly, the baby was up on the screen, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, it was so cute and so little. It just looked like a little blob. I could see its head and its little nubs and its little paddles on its little feet, and I could see the heart beating in its chest, and that was just like so beautiful to see all that, because it's been kind of hard for me to still comprehend that I am pregnant. You would think all the nausea would like make it click in my brain, but it's still been so hard to comprehend because I was on birth control. So I'm just still like, how is this possible? Which I know that it's possible. It happens to women all the time, but it was just kind of hard for me to understand and wrap my brain around. But as soon as I saw that baby's heartbeat, I was just so happy, and I wish my husband could have been there. But let me actually back up because I missed something. Before my appointment, the night before, I was having some vaginal discharge, and this is the part where I told you guys I'm going to be a little TMI, because I just want to be honest with you guys in case anybody else is wondering, is this normal? So I was kind of panicked a little bit because I had had vaginal discharge before, like during the pregnancy, but it was always clear. And at this point it wasn't clear anymore, so I was kind of panicking. It was almost like looked a little bloody, not very much, just like a little bit. I told myself I'm not gonna worry until I have to worry. I'm gonna wait until my appointment and then we'll see what happens. I woke up that next morning. I was still having the discharge, but I wasn't gonna worry. I told myself it was gonna be okay. I was like, maybe it's just a yeast infection. I've heard that those are very common during pregnancy, which they are, So, okay, back to the appointment. We get to the appointment, she does the ultrasound, she's like, yep, there's just one. She prints off 2 little pictures, which I will show you guys at the end of the video. She measures the baby and it was 18 millimeters. The heart rate was 169 beats per minute, which is very fast, but that's what little babies' hearts do. They just beat very fast. She said everything looked good, everything looked perfect, the baby was right where they needed to be. So after the ultrasound, I went back out and I had to pee in a cup. I don't know why, they just made me pee in a cup. And then she checked my blood pressure, I believe. I think that's what it was. And then I had to wait a little bit longer for the doctor or midwife to come in and see me. So I have never had a pap smear. If you don't know what a pap smear is, then you're probably too young to be watching this video anyway. So I've never had a pap smear. I've never I've never had anyone checking out my lady bits. Other than my husband, of course, and whenever my mom would change my diaper when I was little. But no one has ever looked at me the way that this midwife was about to. And I honestly didn't even think that I was gonna have to get checked like that, which I knew that you have to get a pap smear whenever you're pregnant, but I thought it was like towards more 12 weeks. So she walked in and she looked at my paperwork and she saw that I hadn't written down when my last pap smear was, because it asked on the paperwork, like, when was your last pap smear? Was everything normal? Pretty much all of that. And I didn't write anything because I've never had a pap smear. So she was like, have you ever had a pap smear before? When was your last one? And I was like, I've never had one, I'm only 19. And she was like, oh, okay, that makes total sense. You don't have to have one until you're 21. But she said, I am gonna need you to undress from the waist down. So that's what I had to do, and I had to put my little feet in the stirrups, and then the midwife came in and put this huge LED light on my vajayjay, and she, you know, did her thing, and she was like, yeah, you definitely have a yeast infection. But she said nothing to be worried about. They gave me some medicine for it, and she said, you're all good. So that was a little uncomfortable, but I guess I need to get used to it because I'm about to have a baby. I'm sure plenty more people are about to be seeing all of this. She brought in a bunch of nausea medicine for me that was totally safe for pregnancy, which has been a lifesaver. I've only been taking it for, what, 2 days now, and I have been feeling fabulous the past 2 days, so I'm definitely going to keep taking that medicine at least until the end of my first trimester. She said it's totally safe to take during pregnancy. She gave me a whole bunch of samples of prenatals to take, which I actually have been taking prenatals, and I've also been taking an iron supplement. That was pretty much it. Well, one more thing. After that, they drew my blood just to check my thyroid level, my iron, all of that good stuff, just to make sure I was healthy. And they took like 8 vials of blood, which was not bad. I don't like needles. Giving blood isn't that bad for me, so that wasn't too bad. That was pretty much it. And they told me they would call me tomorrow, Monday, and give me the results from all of my blood work and everything, which I'm sure everything is fine. But that was pretty much everything for my first appointment, and I will be seen on October 6th, which is 4 weeks from now. I think 4 weeks. But yeah, so those are my symptoms. I'm feeling 100% better than I was feeling, and I am very, very excited. I'm gonna go ahead and do a little bump date for you guys, and I'm gonna show you the ultrasound pictures. So here's my little bump. Nothing much. Nothing to look at here. I'm pulling my dress tight so you can actually see what's going on. But a little pooch, but it's probably just flow. I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, like and subscribe, comment down below. You guys know the drill. If you have any questions or anything you'd like me to answer in future updates, then just leave them down below and I'd be happy to answer them for you guys. I love you guys, and I will see you very soon. Bye.